It was Christmas night 2025 and the sky above the desert was clear. The stars trembled like small flames, but one shone with a different light. It grew, it throbbed, shifting from gold to blue as if it had a heart. Melchior was the first to notice it. In his palace, among ancient scrolls and bright screens, he watched the sky with a telescope beside an astrolabe. When he saw that new star, he felt a familiar shiver. "It has returned," he whispered, "the star that announces the King of Hearts." Far away, Caspar was observing the sky from his observatory. The star filled the dome with a gentle light, different from all the others. "When the world forgets love," he murmured, "heaven lights a star to remind it." Balthazar instead was traveling on a camel loaded with sacks. He carried fragrant oils, fabrics, and a backpack full of notebooks. It was a young shepherd who called him, "My king, look at the sky." Balthazar saw the same star, large and close. "It is the sign," he said softly. "The child of peace is calling us again." That night, the light of the star entered the hearts of the three kings and invited them to set out once more. The world had changed. Bright roads, antennas, phones glowing like small moons. But above all this, the star was still pointing the way. Melchior prepared the gold, dividing it into 3 little bags. One for the child, one for the poor, one to rebuild schools and homes. Caspar chose a light incense, a symbol of prayer, and added small peace notes written by children. Balthazar took the myrrh, balm that soothes wounds, and mixed it with a few medicines and bandages. They set out from their own kingdoms, but the star led them onto the same path. When they met at dawn, they smiled. They were older, but their eyes had the same light. "So we set off again," said Caspar. "As long as the star calls," replied Melchior. "And as long as someone needs comfort," concluded Balthazar. The desert of 2025 was not as empty as it once had been. On the horizon you could see the lights of cities and the flash of airplanes. Along the way, they met faces they could not ignore. A mother fleeing war with a newborn at her breast, an old man who had lost his home in a flood, a lonely boy with a small backpack. Melchior opened the bags of gold, paying for safe passage, a roof, a school desk. Caspar handed out the children's notes. "We want to be your friends. The earth belongs to everyone." In the eyes of those who read them, for an instant, there appeared a reflection of the star. Balthazar treated wounds, listened to stories, and said to the little ones, "The king we are seeking was born poor like you, but he brought a richness no one can steal." One evening they reached a village where the houses were lit with a cold light. Through the windows they could see families sitting each in front of a screen. No one was talking. The three kings stopped in the square. Caspar took a small lyre and began to play an ancient melody. Balthazar told the story of their first journey to the stable in Bethlehem. Melchior lit a fire in the center. Little by little, the screens went dark. The children came down, curious, and the parents followed them. They all sat around the fire to listen. The star, above the village, seemed to shine twice as bright. Every time people look into each other's eyes, thought Melchior, the child is born again. After many nights, the star led them to the edge of a great modern city, full of noise and lights. Nestled between buildings, they found a small church with a peeling roof and wide-open doors. In front of it, a simple nativity scene, a wooden hut, a few plaster sheep, Mary and Joseph, and a child in the manger. The star stopped above that scene and wrapped it in light. "Is it here?" asked Balthazar. "Heaven loves small places," replied Caspar. The three kings climbed down from their camels and knelt in the square, while the city hurried by, distracted. They placed the gifts beside the plaster child, but in their hearts they saw a living child, with eyes full of tenderness. "We bring you the gold of every generous act," said Melchior. "Every time someone shares, a coin falls at your feet." "We bring you the incense of every dream of peace," added Caspar. "Every time someone forgives, a scented cloud rises to heaven." "We bring you the myrrh of every healed wound," concluded Balthazar. "Every time someone comforts a friend, a drop of balm touches your heart." The light of the star did not remain only on the nativity scene. It slid beyond the roof, entered into rooms. It lit up a hospital bed, a station, a silent home. It reached even those who no longer believed in anything, but still, without knowing it, longed for a bit of light. A child came up to the three kings. He had a phone in his hand, but it was switched off. "Where is the real child?" he asked. Melchior pointed to the boy's chest. "If you keep quiet and listen," he said, "you will hear him knocking in here." The child closed his eyes, put a hand on his heart, and smiled, as if he had heard a gentle knock. That night, in the city of 2025, Christmas was not only lights and presents, but a weaving of glances and good choices. The three kings understood that their journey did not end in front of that nativity scene. Every time a heart opens to the light, the star rises again in the sky, and they start walking once more, silently, in the darkness of the world. And so, every Christmas, the star of the wise men is not only high above, but shines in those who choose the hardest and most beautiful path, the path of love that makes itself small, enters homes, and turns 2025 and every year to come into a new chance to be born again, inside. Hai detto?